and getting a lot of support from the House.
Yeah, Gareth Hughes, is this a split call?
Yep.
Warning bell at 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Kia ora, ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Kia ora. I'm very happy to take a call on this bill because it's a bad bill, Mr Speaker. This is legislation at its worst. It's all about special interest. It's all about increasing the cost to the taxpayer. It's all about reducing that clean green brand which brings in $22 billion a year to this country, which this government is prepared to throw out the door, throw down the drain with their drill it, mine it, kill it, cut it, sell it approach to economic development, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, we only have this bill because the member for Aharu, Peter Dunn, has put it in front of him. Mr Speaker, I stood in the Aharu electorate with the Honourable Minister and I didn't hear him once. I didn't hear the Minister once tell the people of Aharu, what could be New Zealand's most suburban electorate, that he was going to be the casting vote for the unpopular asset sales. He was going to sell off our state assets, those assets which already belong to our mums and dads and everyday Kiwis. He was going to cut it, sell it, mine it, drill it. But what was he going to give in return? What was he going to bring to Aharu? The Game Animal Council Bill, Mr Speaker, a special interest for those hunters in New Zealand. Mr Speaker, what we've seen under this government is special interests flourishing. We see special deals for Warners, special deals for Sky City, special deals for MediaWorks, and now we're seeing special deals for hunters. The sad thing is, Mr Speaker, I don't think the people of Aharu wanted the Minister to be using his casting vote and only getting this for the 30 pieces of silver the country's getting. Aharu's getting the Game Animal Council Bill. In all seriousness, Mr Speaker, this is a bad bill. What it does is establish the council to improve the management of deer, tahr, chamois, wild pig, allows these herds of special interest, introduce this game trophy export levy. Now, Mr Speaker, I agree wholeheartedly with the Regs Review statement of this bill, which said it quite simply is a solution in search of a problem. But I'd go further. It's actually worse than that. It's a solution that's going to cause further problems. Actually, it's a problem that's going to cause lots of problems. And, Mr Speaker, I've got a huge list from our spokesperson on this bill. The first big problem is it's going to cut across the Conservation Act. This government's already cutting the DOC budget, reducing their ability to work, reducing the focus of our country on marine protection, which Kiwis love and value. It's going to cut across the Department of Conservation, not for the benefit of all New Zealanders, but for a few special interests. It's going to put those hunters in a privileged position. This new statutory body is going to be subsidised by the taxpayer, more than $100,000. So at a time when fiscal austerity is the watchword, this government is prepared to fork out hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars to support this special interest. And lastly, where is the money coming from? It's not coming from the consolidated account. It's not coming from the overblown, borrowed $19 billion on transport. It's coming from the Department of Conservation. A vote which this government has remorselessly cut despite its impact and benefits to our clean green brand and our economy. $100,000 the vote conservation cannot afford, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, the bill tries to redefine these animals, the char and whatever, from noxious pests to herds of special interest. Mr Speaker, it can't be both. They can't be noxious animal pests as they are at the moment and herds of special interest. It shows the contradiction that this bill will be bringing to our country. And I guess lastly, Mr Speaker, a big problem with this bill is the new council is going to be advising the Conservation Minister, and the council has advisory functions but also has management functions. This is just like putting the wolf in the hen house, Mr Speaker, with this bill. So in summary, Mr Speaker, it's a bad bill. The Greens are going to be opposing it. We think there's going to be a ton of select committee submissions opposing this bill, this problem, which is simply going to cause problems, Mr Speaker. And I guess to sum up, this is our heritage we're talking about. It's our conservation estate. This is a heritage of our forefathers to put aside these wonderful areas. We can't go splitting it up. We can't have separate hunting estates, conservation estates. Next we'll be listening to PPANs, the oil and minerals lobby, who are advocating for coal, gold, minerals reserves in this country. What's next, Mr Speaker? This government's going to keep on picking winners, and it's bad for this country, bad for our conservation estate, bad for our economy. Kia ora.
For the second part of the split call, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, quite frankly, I think this bill's a bit rubbish, actually.